Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the More Steelers Please podcast. I am your host, Jacob Herbert, and we are here today doing a 7 round mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nothing too fancy. There won't be any trades or anything, so we're just going to keep it kind of sweet, simple, and to the point. Just seeing who might be available on the board, who are the guys we could be looking at. This is the draft that I would do. We're not doing a predictive Steelers 7 round mock draft. Just if I was general manager and what I would do and what I think is a positions of need and where I would go with players that are on the board. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. So, Pittsburgh up at 21 here, and C.J. Allen is still on the board. Okay. You got Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety I have loved. Omar Cooper Jr. You have Avion Terrell. Not a huge fan of these Clemson corners, so I'm not sure I would go him. You got Blake Miller, Cassius Howe. My eyes immediately go to the same person we picked in the More Sports Please podcast mock draft round or mock draft 1.0, Omar Cooper Jr. And I'll only touch on what we discussed it more on that episode. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the mock draft 1.0 for the More Sports Please podcast we posted a couple days ago. But I'm also going with the same player we picked in that draft in this draft. Omar Cooper Jr. He's a slot wide receiver that Pittsburgh desperately needs because you have two receivers on the outside and Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf. You get Omar Cooper Jr., slide him into the slot, and your wide receiver core is light years better than it was last year. Barring if Aaron Rodgers comes back, he has way more weapons than he did. Maybe Rodgers does sit out. I don't think it's likely that he retires. I don't think they're going to end up bringing a guy like Kirk Cousins in at wide receiver. I don't think they're going to give the reins over to Will Howard. As excited as I would be to see that, I definitely think the quarterback next year or next season is going to be Aaron Rodgers. I think he'll be back. It's just a matter of time. So, with this pick, I'm going Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana. So, with our second round pick, with the 53rd overall pick, here we go with some of the players that are still left on the board. Gabe. Man, I butcher his name all the time. It's not Yakis. It's like Akis. Gabe Akis. Eli Stowers, Malachi Lawrence, Keontae Scott, Jadarian Pierce, Jennings Dunker. So, Derek Moore's still here, but you don't need an edge rusher. This is what I would do. I'm probably going to go Jennings Dunker here, tackle out of Iowa. Now, he did have a down year last year compared to 2024, as you can see, based on the snaps, or not based on the snaps, based on the PFF grade that PFF's got here in the career stats. He is a right tackle, so you slide him in, and then I believe Troy Fautanu was playing mostly right tackle this season, but he can play left. You got Broderick Jones, whose natural position is left tackle, but he hasn't had the best. He hasn't lived up to expectations. So I know Jennings Dunker. I mean, can you shove him in at guard? Maybe. Is that an option? Possibly. Um, he could be that guy that could play guard, could play right tackle. You have an O lineman that could play all positions except for like the center position. I wouldn't necessarily say all positions, but you have an O lineman you can push in at guard and see what he can do. And you have an O lineman that could possibly fight with Broderick Jones for the starting position if you're willing to move Troy Fautanu over to the left side. I don't think the edge rushers is anything of need. Corner, maybe Keontae Scott here is an option. I mean, he played a lot more of the slot corner, which is definitely something Pittsburgh needs. Unless you plan on using Jalen Ramsey there, slide him in at nickel or the slot. Man, this is tough. I'm not sure what I would do here. Because you did just sign Asante Samuel Jr. back. You brought in Jamel Dean from Tampa Bay to play alongside Joey Porter Jr. on the outside. Let's check a look at the cornerback class and who's coming up. So Davison Igmanoza, who's more of an outside corner, is still here. Takario Davis, who I really like. Jalen Kilgore, who I really like. And then let's take a look at the tackles that are still here. Demetrius Crownover would still be on the board. I think I'm going to go Jennings Dunker here out of Iowa. So with our third pick in the third round, pick 76, I immediately jump Keelan Rutledge here. You need a guard. Is he a starting caliber guard? Maybe not at the moment, but he's a guard that you can plug and play in that offensive line where they're kind of lacking right now with Isaac Seumalo. They did just sign Brock Huffman, so you have him and Spencer Anderson that'll play that guard position, whoever wins that out in training camp. But you can get a guy like Keelan Rutledge here in the third round out of Georgia Tech, or you could get a linebacker like Kyle Lewis, low moving cost, like we said on the previous one in the NFL Stock Exchange. It's a low moving cost for Kyle Lewis, who would stay in Pittsburgh. I wish I would have seen that earlier. I would not have gone Keelan Rutledge, and I don't know if I will. Man, will Kyle Lewis still be on the board? I don't know if I'm willing to risk it. What other linebackers are still here? Anthony Hill Jr. He's not. I don't like him more than I do Kyle Lewis, because linebacker is more of a need, I think, in Pittsburgh than guard, especially with signing Brock Huffman. I'm going to go. Oh, man. I guess low moving cost trumps all. Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. So, with our second pick here in the third round, where did Keelan Rutledge go? Kyle Lewis. Keelan Rutledge, of course. Keelan Rutledge went to Baltimore. But with the 85th pick here, I see another guard on here I also like out of Kentucky. So this is not over. I know he's had it, he's been up and down like PFF says here. He's still a right guard. You plug him in. I really like Jalen Farmer. I think he'll have the ability to play at the next level. Will he be starting caliber? I don't know. I also like Kamari Ramsey, but the safety position is not of need for Pittsburgh. So I don't know if you go Kamari Ramsey here. Man, if I was, dude, I'm battling between these two. It's another situation where I like, and then is like a quarterback like Garrett Nussmeier or Drew Aller, will they be up still on the board at pick 99 when Pittsburgh picks again? Possibly. But pick 99 is still the third round, so we have one more third rounder. I was going to say, I don't really see both of them being day 3 picks, which is weird. I think Drew Aller will go a lot farther, higher in the draft than people may expect. He's still a good quarterback, aside from his injury, who was possibly going to be top 5 if he came out last year, where people were saying. I don't get the hype. I'm not a Drew Aller fan. I'm not a Drew Aller hater. I was last year, but I'm no longer a Drew Aller hater, but I'm also not a Drew Aller fan. But I'm going to go with guard Jalen Farmer out of Kentucky here with the 85th pick. And then at pick 99, shit. So I immediately stare at those two quarterbacks, at Garrett Nussmeier and Drew Aller. And I also stare at the wide receiver, Malachi Fields. I know we already went wide receiver. Malachi Fields is more of a personal pick for me. I love him, man. I think he's going to be amazing. I think he's going to be a star at the next level. He will be a steal for whatever team gets him, in my opinion. But if I'm going quarterback, I'm picking Garrett Nussmeier. He was my QB1 before the season started. And then, unfortunately, the season started and his injury happened, and he didn't play much after that. He had a down year. But I love Garrett Nussmeier. I like him more than Drew Aller. I personally think he could have been QB1 of this class, like I said. He's not QB2. Ty Simpson is. QB1's obviously Fernando Mendoza. But I think Garrett Nussmeier is absolutely QB3. So I'm going Garrett Nussmeier, personally. I think they would go Drew Aller here. But like I said, this draft is more of a what I would do personally. So I'm going to go Garrett Nussmeier here with the 99th pick in the third round. So we're here in the fourth round with the pick 121. So we'll go ahead and recap who we have so far. We have Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana. Jennings Dunker, tackle out of Iowa. Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Jalen Farmer, guard out of Kentucky. And Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU. So here with pick 121, you look at a guy like Landon Robinson out of Navy, Takario Davis out of Washington, Tyreek Sapp out of Florida, Chris McLennan out of Missouri, Seth McGowan out of Kentucky, Jalen Kilgore. I like both these corners, Jalen Kilgore and Takario Davis. I think Takario Davis is the better player, but he played more of the corner position. Obviously, he is a corner, but I assume this is more outside corner than it is slot. Let me see, Kilgore. And Kilgore played mostly slot corner. He has been more consistent, but he hasn't. I mean, if you look at Takario Davis, he had an amazing 2023 and then has just shot down in 24 and 25. Looks like injuries might have played a factor into it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I saw most of his games. I do like some of the film that I've seen on him. But if I'm going corner here, I think I'm going to take Jalen Kilgore. Yep. I'm going Jalen Kilgore, cornerback out of South Carolina. So, with the other fourth round pick here, with the compensatory pick of 135, Pittsburgh. Got guys like Marlon Klein still on there. You obviously need a running back. Could go Seth McGowan or Emmett Johnson. Man. Nick Singleton still here. I think if the options were down to me, I'm going Seth McGowan. I don't think there's really much to be said. I mean, we have 3 running backs on the roster. I think Seth McGowan absolutely could take Caleb Johnson's spot on that team. I think this kid's going to be more hungrier than Caleb Johnson will be, but that's just me. This new coaching tree could love Caleb Johnson and could absolutely turn his career around and take him out of the Mike Tomlin doghouse. So I am absolutely going Seth McGowan here, running back out of Kentucky. Pick 161. Wow, there's several running backs on here. Nick Singleton, Jaden Ott, Katron Allen. Man, Josh Cameron, wide receiver out of Baylor, who's amazing. I wouldn't say amazing, but he's good. He'd had an amazing Senior Bowl. DJ Campbell, Josh Chavez out of Alabama, the tight end. Jeff Caldwell. Man. I don't think you double dip on running back just yet. I don't even think you. I'm not sure I would double dip on running back this early either. Man, I think I'm gonna double dip on wide receiver. I think I just said you don't double dip on wide receiver. I meant to say running back. You don't double dip on running back. I don't think you go tight end here yet either. I think, man, or do I go Michael Taffy out of Texas, the safety? Played more of in the box. Played a lot deep safety. Can play in the box. Can play slot. I'm gonna go Michael Taffy. Yeah, I'm gonna go Michael Taffy out of Texas, the safety. If I haven't gone quarterback, I'd go Cade Klubnik. I'd go Josh Cameron if I already hadn't hit wide receiver. Could go guard again. I don't love the tight ends that are still here. Yeah, I'm gonna take the safety. So up here in round 6 on pick 216, the compensatory pick, Oscar Delp is still here. Desmond Reed, T.J. Hall, Robert Spears Jennings at safety. T.J. Guy, the edge rusher out of Michigan, who I watched a lot of as a Michigan fan. Fullback Max Bredesen. I'm gonna roll. I think I'm going to roll Oscar Delp. I know we already have Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth on the roster, but adding a third tight end isn't going to hurt anything, especially a rookie like Oscar Delp. You pair those Georgia boys back up and see what they can do. I know they're wanting to get Pat Freiermuth more involved, and Darnell Washington has a broken forearm, so who knows if he'll be able. I mean, I'm sure he'll be able to return to form, but how fast will he be able to return to form? I'm going to go tight end Oscar Delp here with the pick 216 and just see what he can do. I mean, like I said, you paired 2 Georgia boys back together and let's roll with it. So, 7th round here. You're not really looking for starters. You're more looking for depth at every position. like you have been kind of in the 6th and everything. J. Michael Strudavant, I really like him as well. What other wide receivers are still here? So not anybody that's really going to blow your shirt or blow your socks off. I think I'm going to go edge rusher TJ Guy here just to kind of fill in the edge spot more. I mean, you got guys like Jack Sawyer, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith. Why is he Nick Herbig? I don't know why I was throwing a blank. You have 4 edge rushers, but you can throw in TJ Guy there just to kind of fill not a need, but just to kind of fill a position. I don't think you're really looking at corner here because your cornerback room's already loaded. Yeah, I think I'm going to go TJ Guy here at pick 224. So here at 230, Max Bredesen is not a tight end. He is a fullback. So I don't think I'm willing to take the fullback just yet. I think I'm going to go maybe Tyler. Maybe Devin Eastern. Let's compare the two. Devin Easter played more of the B gap. His run and defensive grade were both in the 60s. Let's take a look at Tyler. Tyler has a better run defense, which I think Pittsburgh definitely needs more. Also played in the B gap more. I think I'm going to go Tyler Onyedim. Tyler Onyedim out of Texas A&M. I really do like these Texas A&M kids and these Texas Tech kids. Both of these are pause. I really like these Texas A&M players and these Texas Tech players because they're both extremely. I think both schools are extremely talented and both have extremely talented players coming into the draft. Also, I mean, just like Ohio State, but I think Ohio State's mostly the top level. They've got a lot on the top. Their players are more loaded at the front end of the draft versus at the back end. You're going to see Ohio State players fly off the board in round 1. There could be a chance that 4 of them go back to back to back to back. So I'm going to go Tyler Oyedim out of Texas A&M here with a pick 230 just to fill that defensive interior. Obviously, he's not. We're not looking. We're just kind of looking for a diamond in the rough here. Somebody that, I mean, not somebody that's going to take somebody else's job, but just kind of to fill the depth and fill position need as well. So here at 237, this is our final pick of the draft. Noah Thomas is on the board. J. Michael Sturdivant. I think that's who I'm going to go here. Is J. Michael Sturdivant. Double dip on wide receiver, but you wait. You do it in the first round, and you do it in round 7. I like Cole Payton. I don't know if I really want to double dip in quarterback. Devonta Smith here, corner out of Notre Dame, is also somebody I like as a late round pick. I don't think they're. I mean, Hayes King's okay. I don't think they're game changer. Diego Pavia, man, he had a great Senior Bowl, but dog, he has shot down. Miller Moss was supposed to be a Michigan Wolverine at one point, but we won't talk about that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go J. Michael Sturdivant here, wide receiver out of Florida, which would end our 7th round mock draft. Let's take a look and see what PFF grades us. So PFF gives us a B. Gives my mock a B. It says I hit not a home run. It says my good picks were Seth McGowan and Garrett Nussmeier, both at A's. But this is just what I would do if I was a general manager of the Steelers. You hit wide receiver both times, but you hit wide receiver in round 1 and wide receiver in round 7. You get Jennings Dunker, which will fill in a need at tackle here if you don't trust Broderick Jones later on down the road, or you just need some depth back at tackle, or if you need somebody to slide into guard. I think Jennings Dunker could do that. Kyle Lewis has low moving costs, so you fill in a linebacker who has looked amazing. You got a guard in Jalen Farmer who can also fill in the need at guard. Obviously, he's a guard. Garrett Nussmeier, you have a quarterback who could be the quarterback of the future. You could have hit a home run on him in the round 3. You got Jalen Kilgore, Seth McGowan, Michael Taffe, Oscar Delp, TJ Guy, Tyler Onyedim, and J. Michael Strudivant. I think this draft looked amazing. Not amazing. I think this draft looks great. If this happens on draft day, I would celebrate. But I'm not sure. I'm really looking at that top pick at Omar Cooper Jr. If we somehow pull him at pick 21, if they go wide receiver and pick him at pick 21, that offense just became astonishing. Especially if you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers back with the knowledge of what he can do on the field. I know he's getting up there in age, but if your receiving core is immediately better, I think this season can be tons of fun if you get a guy like Omar Cooper Jr. and pair him with Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf. But I know this is going to be more of a shorter episode. I didn't expect it to be that long. Looks like it's 20 minutes. I'm not sure I'd even upload it as a podcast. I think I'm just going to upload it as a YouTube video. But this is my draft, my 7-round mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.